You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Back at it again. Episode 195. Now, what's going on today? I think I'm going through a lot of what ifs going through my head today, dealing with sports this week. Like, what if my Hawks had a 2-0 lead? What if Team USA becomes a regular team again? What if Katie and Pippen could just sit down like men and talk it out? What if the Mavs kept Trey and the Hawks kept Luka? What if Ben Simmons could shoot? What if Doc Rivers wasn't the choker of all NBA coaches? How many rings would he have? And what if Red, Rev, Coach, and Shelby decided to discuss it all? Well, don't worry, because we're going to discuss all of this and more. Episode 195, No more what ifs. Time for action now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Red, Shelby, and Coach are coming to you live from the ATL while I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, coming to you with real sports talk because we are real sports fans who were, besides Shelby, real sports athletes who have what?
Real sports knowledge. I think Shelby plays sports, Red. Give me that look.
Okay, first of all, I was on the team.
All right, we'll discuss it later after I get through with my monologue. Come on. Watch episode 195 with your boys, Red, Rev Coach, and with your sports girl, Shelby. And as is our custom, come on. Coach, give us what you got for number 195, and the Steelers band is still on. And I don't know why Red wants to give us a tour of his home. That could have happened 5 minutes ago before we got on air. As Medea would say, sit down somewhere, Red. But go ahead, Coach. What you got for us at 195?
All right. Good morning, everybody. Number 195 goes to a man who played on they say one of the greatest defenses of all time. They loved him to death. He was one of the leaders because he was number one in sacks on the team for several years. He was their basically uncrowned leader. He wore number 95, and his name is Richard Dent, who actually was born here in Atlanta, Georgia in 1960. So the number 195 for the number one sack leader on the Chicago Bears, Richard Dent, number 95.
All right, Richard Dent. We're going to let Red get settled first before we bring him back on because we don't need to take a tour of his home. But nevertheless, episode 195, Coach gives us Richard Dent, somebody who played in all of our lifetimes. We actually saw them play, so we appreciate that. He was on the Super Bowl winning team of Mike Dicker and Buddy Ryan's fierce defense, number 95. I think Red got his afro sat down somewhere. All right, so we can bring him in. Okay. Nevertheless, thank you for giving us Richard Dent. Actually, he's the cousin of one of my former church members at Wheat Street Baptist Church. So I used to hear a lot about Richard Dent in my younger days. But thank you so much for coming up with something that we could identify with. Thank you so much, Coach. All right, with that being said, how you all doing?
Cool.
Doing well.
All right, doing well. That's cool. And let's welcome Revanite Nation to the Red and Rev Sports Show. For the Red and Rev Sports Show would not be if we did not have the Revanite Nation. So here it is. What's up, Joe Black? Joe Black showing Shelby some Hawks love with the jersey. He's loving it. Vincent Woodruff, what's up with you in the Heezy? We need you to give us a strong comment today, Vincent. Lance Bilbrew, good morning, sir. Shelby was the superstar shuffleboard champion.
Thank you, Vincent, for noticing my prowess.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so she was a real sports athlete then. Okay. All right. It's Saturday, so you know what that means. What's up, Chris Trailer? We got your what? We know what you got, sir. Armani Newsome, I'm glad that you are all right. I know you were in the sick and shut in, the sports sick and shut in this past week after what happened to your Sixers. May they rest in peace. Vincent Woodruff, giving Coach some love with the Richard Dent reference. Maurice Thor, good morning to you, sir. And Vincent says, great call. Coach Richard was a beast. Red doing an episode of Oh, did everyone pay that Cricket Wireless bill?
Yes, we did.
Maybe not me. The Lord is blessing my connection right now. I'm at a hotel in Baton Rouge, so y'all pray for the connection. Thomas Holcomb checking in from Dingo Disco. Dance off in doo-wop debacle Lake Wobegon. Hey, make sure they get that ruling right there in Minnesota, since you're not far away from all that Derek Chauvin situation.
Isn't that the contest John Travolta and Uma Thurman danced in Pulp Fiction, Thomas? I know what you're doing, buddy. I'm figuring you out. I almost got you, man.
As vice president, I just hit that gavel. Court is in session. All right. It's good to see Red and some Hawks gear. No hat, but it's okay. All right.
Time.
And it's going to be a RMP to rest Ben Simmons if I ever see his. He ain't gonna go play military on Big Ben.
Oh, Almighty, come on! You supposed to be protecting us, man, not threatening us. Come on, come on, Mr. Soldier.
Somebody protect Ben Simmons ASAP. I might have got that military experience, so we don't know what.
Lying, man.
Yeah.
I'd be scared for Ben Simmons.
Shameful with that 6'10" body. All right, so they already on Ben Simmons. We'll get to him. We got time to get to him. But welcome again, Reverend Knight Nation. We look forward to you all's comments, and feel free to comment during the course of the show, and we'll highlight those comments.
Ben Simmons ain't gonna be a fan of the show after this.
Ben Armani about to catch a case. Joe Black. Armani News will have to wear shooting sleeves. Man, they are on it. Trae Young is a superstar and needs another star to play beside him. The Hawks need more. I mean, y'all are just all in the show. You all just want us to be led by you all. I mean, y'all are just dictating.
John in the house. I know we're gonna have a 5-show day if John showed up.
All right, let's get started before they take the show away from us. It'd be
when
the
did John become a member
show.
of Rev Night Nation?
All right, man. All right, let's get to Dope, Nope, and Cope, as is our normal custom for the show. Let's get ready to do it. We'll start with Shelby, since she got that nice Atlanta Hawks jersey.
Thank you.
Probably
So
Jeff Ball.
let's start with her.
I got it out of the kids section. Red, isn't that where you shop? The kids section?
Wow.
Okay.
Here we go. What you got, Shelby? What you
So my
doping on?
dope is Allison Felix, who is the most decorated American female track and star ever. Nike decided to penalize her for having a child, which, I mean, she had a cesarean section. So I don't know how you can penalize somebody for having a kid, but they did. And so she quit. She decided to tell Nike they could keep their money, and she decided to start her own athletic shoe wear business. It has rolled out. Go to her website. The shoes are phenomenal, but unfortunately, they're only for women. And so I have already bought my pair. They're $150, and I can't wait to wear them in September. Allison Felix is my dope.
All right. Let's go with the coach. What are you doping on?
My dope moment is for Serena Williams, who they released the Wimbledon draw, and due to the fact she got a good draw and there's some people who have backed out and not playing, she should be able to tie the Wimbledon record for majors with 24 at Wimbledon, barring any collapse or bad game. So I'm doping on Serena Williams, getting ready to make history.
When we start doping on hypotheticals, coach. Come on, man. You can't be doping on hypotheticals, man.
Okay.
Predicting the future.
I'm not gonna let you change the game. I'm glad she got a good draw, but she got to win it before we dope on it.
Okay, I got another dope moment. I can give it to Simone Biles, who absolutely destroyed the competition last night at the Olympic trials. It was pretty ugly. You know, she did her moment, and then she sat down, drank her water, did her hair, cooked some cookies.
Wow. She sent it on them like that?
Nothing hard about it.
All right, we're gonna go with that one. Don't waste our time with hypotheticals next time, Coach. All right.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
All right, Red, what are you doping on, sir?
I'm doping on one Shannon Sharp this week. Thank you, Shannon Sharp. You finally got Kevin Werder's name right. It took him having a 27-point game in Game 7 versus Philly for you to finally come on the show and get his name right. Thank you, Shannon Sharp, for saying Kevin Huerter, not Water. I mean, come on, Shannon. I remember we thought you couldn't speak back in the day. We didn't know you couldn't read either. But thank you for finally getting the man's name right. Kevin Huerter, not Kevin Water. I have no idea how you confuse Huerter and Water, but Shannon Sharp, That's your crisis, buddy. But thank you, Shannon, for getting the name right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go into dope on the Atlanta Hawks. I didn't give them a chance in Game 7. They proved the Sports Rev wrong. I thought they were done it after coughing up Game 6 when they had a prime opportunity to win at home, but they came back. Trey showed some magic at the end of the game, even though he had a bad shooting day. But the Hawks showed some resilience, and big ups to the Atlanta Hawks and the coach. Nate McMillan for pulling through Game 7. Now we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's my dope moment.
Winning.
All right, Coach. And I'm going to give some solo layouts on this round. What are you noping on that actually happened, Coach?
The note moment goes to North Carolina State baseball team, which had to bow out of the College World Series because of COVID protocol. They had half the team in COVID, so they couldn't participate. So that gave Vanderbilt a chance to move on. So note moment, unfortunately, goes to the North Carolina State baseball team.
Epic fail.
All right, Red, what are you noping on, sir?
I'm noping on one, Alex Caruso. Okay, Alex, listen up, buddy. Take it from somebody who knows what they're talking about. Dude, when you're traveling out of town, okay, number one, you're coming from California. We all know they got the best weed in the country. But you're traveling out of town. You're going to Texas. Dude, leave your weed at home. Please leave your weed at home. I have never in my life traveled with weed in the airport or any type of traveling location. No bus station, no train station, and no airport. Dude, what is wrong with you athletes? You are not going to get away with traveling with weed. Why don't you do what regular people do who smoke weed? Wait till you get to your destination and ask whoever you're going to see. Ask them where you find the good stuff instead of trying to travel across the country with the good stuff. It's never going to work, and you're always going to get caught. So do me a favor one more time. Leave the weed at home. Thank you, Alex. No.
The views that were just shared by Red about his own and not the Red and Rev Sports Show. Just want everybody to know that we're not supporting weed on the show, but those are Red's views alone. All right. With that being said, I am noping on one Trae Young. I've been doping on him, but I have to nope on him last night. I don't care if he's young. I don't care if the Hawks won Game 1. You cannot commit 8 turnovers in the first half. The team lives and dies off his play. It's one thing if he's missing shots. It's another thing if refs are not making calls. But many of his turnovers yesterday were forced turnovers by him, trying to thread the needle, getting too caught up in the media. And I don't want to hear anything. It's just one game. It's just one game after all the media gave him all this hype. It's one game after he shimmied, and it was all on every network. So therefore, Trae was smelling himself, and I'm glad that the Milwaukee Bucks gave him a piece of humble pie. Hopefully he gets himself together, come back in Game 3, get back to running the team the way the team has been played so that it can continue to at least compete to go to an NBA final. So my note moment definitely goes to one Trae Young and his poor play, consisting of 9 turnovers, and it would have been more had they not gotten blown out. But nevertheless, 9 turnovers can't win that way, Trae. Get it together. Come back strong, Game 3. All right, Shelby, what are you noping on?
I'm noping on Jason Williams. You're not Jay. Your name is Jason. Your mama named you Jason. I'm going to call you Jason because you look like an idiot. Did you forget about all the other black coaches that the Celtics have had? And then for you to come out and say, oh, I was hacked. Who would hack you? Who wants to hack you? Not China, not anybody. Nobody wants to hack you. Just take a piece of humble pie and say, I messed up. I got caught up in this guy being the new coach. I got caught up. I made a mistake. But no, you weren't hacked. Dude, please, give me a break. I'm so sick of him. And when is his time over? And no, I'm not calling you Jay. Your name is Jason. You've been Jason all your life. You're still going to be Jason.
You have got to be kidding.
Man, she giving Jay Williams a hard time. All right.
You got to raise the roof of that one.
All right, Red, close us out as you start the close out on Coke. What you coping on?
Me? I thought I ended the cope, but I started out. Okay, what am I coping with this week? Baseball's new pitching rule. And the umpires checking for sticky substance. Look, do us baseball fans have to cope with every time they ask a pitcher to check themselves that they have to threaten to undress, pull off their shirts, pull their shirts out their pants, threaten to unzip their belt buckle. I'm about to drop trial right here in the middle of the field. Look, dude, we understand it's an inconvenience at times, okay? We understand it's going to take a little use to get into pitchers, but please, we ain't trying to see your polka dots on your boxer briefs, okay? We ain't trying to see your Fruit of the Loom bikini briefs, okay? We don't want to see your underwear, all right? This is a baseball game. This ain't Club Wax or the Blue Flame. Leave the stripping to professionals, okay? And just follow the rules. Thank you.
All right. And this is a personal cope that I'm coping on. I'm coping on the fact that I'm not in the ATL to enjoy the ride of the Hawks as they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. I would have tried to probably go to Game 3, but I won't be back in the ATL probably until either Sunday night or Monday. So I'm coping on the fact that I'm not in the atmosphere to enjoy what's going on. But nevertheless, I'm rooting from the Hawks from afar. Y'all handle business, and I may be enticed to see what Game 4 looks like and go to the State Farm Arena. So that's what I'm coping on right now. All right, no soundbite for that. Shelby, what are you coping on?
I don't know if y'all watched any of the track Olympic trials, but I'm coping on y'all need to figure out what's going on with the blocks. The 100 hurdles. It took 6 times as a men's hurdle. It took them 6 times to get it right. Something is going on with those blocks. I don't know what it is, but y'all need to fix it. It's the Olympic trials. This is your game. This is your performance. This is what y'all plan for. You built a new stadium in Oregon. Y'all can get the blocks right. And it's just wasting time. That's what I'm coping on.
All righty, and Coach, close us out with your cope moment.
My cope moment is for Major League Baseball's home run contest. It looked like it's going to be watered down because Fernando Tatis has decided he's the leader in the NL. He decided not to attend, and then Vladimir Guerrero, who's the leader in the AL, decided not to attend. So these guys dropping out, and maybe more might be watered down. So hope they can cope with that. Major League Baseball.
You have got to be kidding.
All right, so the big-time players did not want to jump in. I did see that the big first baseman from the Mets wants to defend his title, so that's one plus.
Yeah, Alonso.
Pete Alonso, so maybe that'll liven up the competition. Who knows? Somebody else may show up and show out. All right, let's see who Revenite Nation is doping, open, and coping on. Let's see what they're talking about on today. Here we go. Boom. Vincent Woodruff is doping on NFL allowing the alternate helmets with the throwback jerseys. Joe Black is doping on former Mays and Morehouse basketball star gets accepted in the Demon. God bless you, man. Appreciate that dope moment, Joe Black. He's talking about one Rev. I appreciate you, man. If John Payton said this team stays content with what they have right now, it's going to be broke. Maurice Thrower doping on Simone Biles as coach finally doped on after he threw away his hypothetical. Armani is doping on Trey Young. Put some respect on that young man's name. I guess you are changing his name, so I guess we have to respect the change to his Trey because you named him Trey as in a 3-pointer, not TRAE. All right, but cool. Trae Young shooting trays, got it. Dope. All black brown gymnastics Olympic team. Yeah, that's a dope moment for real. Vincent Woodruff, great dope moments. Shelby, love me some Allison Felix. More power to her. Let's support her. There we go, Chris. Teach Armani how to spell Trae Young's name. There you go. Trae Young and the Hawks. Enough said. Vincent Woodruff, Simone needs to hand out reparations because she owns the competition. Wow. Vincent says Shannon Sharp would do well on this show then, Red. Enunciation riff. Definitely with a DEAF. Yeah. Rev, you old little basketball faith, you gotta believe. I ain't say nothing that I didn't believe. I'm just saying Trae Young can't turn the ball over 8 times. That's all. 9 times. If Bill Simmons is on the court, the other team always has a chance to win. Doesn't matter the season.
Definitely don't matter if they up 26.
My Lord. Nope. Jay Williams, not knowing Boston has had a black coach before Bill Russell, Casey Jones, but who's saying it? Vincent Woodruff, nope. Ben Simmons getting paid what he's getting paid for not performing. Ouch. Come on, bro. No doubt. Thomas said, Red is an expert. I believe. That's classic. That's classic right there. That's classic. That's going into the archives right there. Red is giving instruction on marriage. He knows Red has a weed man at all. Oh my Lord!
Why, and that's how I can avoid moments like Alex Caruso.
No, Ben Simmons, sorry behind. That's all. Sorry, guys, but I haven't been this upset to rant like this in a long time. So bear with me. We got y'all, body. Understand? It's a shame when you can leave a 6'10" player open for a dunk knowing he's not going to take it. Wow. Y'all are hard on Big Ben. And that's exactly why the Sixers never win a championship with Ben Simmons. All right. Note to Jay Williams and his brain fought about Celtics never having a black head coach on Twitter and then to try to cover his tail by lying at his count. Hack, nah, bruh. Good morning, Miss Harris.
Not popular enough to be hacked.
John Payton can't shoot the 3-ball, can't shoot a mid-range shot, and can't shoot free throws. Ben Simmons is overpaid, don't deserve the money he's getting. Panel, we're going to have to go to Ben Simmons first. It's clear that's where the fans want. Exactly, You're not relevant enough to be hacked. Thomas, nope, MLB, cut it out. Checking pitches every throw is not the move. Vincent Woodruff, Jason Williams is an idiot, been that way a long time, needs to know NBA history, moron, worthless participant on that morning show. And Joe.
Who asked me all this on my page?
oh my goodness. Trailer.
Here we go.
I'm coping for Doc Rivers. This wasn't on you, Doc. Trade that boy. Start getting the package.
Get to this one. Okay.
All right, Cope. This run is going to make the Hawks overpay John Collins. Unfortunately, it is. Watch. Cope, all the replays in the NBA playoffs. Thrower, the search and frisk for ML Empires is dumb and annoying. The world becoming the end if Red is doing date correction.
Oh my God.
Somebody said check coaches connection. Did NCAA pay the athletes? Yeah. Coping the youngest black women who are excelling in gymnastics, swimming, and track in the Olympic trials. Dope, note, Cope, repeat, our Hawks. She said, okay, thank you. Dope. She made a mistake. All right, we got you now, Sister Harris. Wow, no one mentioned Sha'Carri Richardson.
Why?
I couldn't remember her name. She definitely gets a dope moment from me. Simone Biles, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Simone Manuel definitely dope. Ben Simmons played more like Richard Simmons.
Dude, these guys are straight copying my page, man. I swear these guys are copying my page.
You don't have a copyright.
Yes, I do. I mean, you gonna straight steal my post word for word? God, it's okay. At least I'm inspiring everybody. I like that.
Did you say this one, Rick? Did you say the Sixers would have been better with Uncle Ben Franklin, or Ben Vereen? Did they get that from your page too, Red?
No.
Yeah, they did.
They got this one? Yeah. Uncle Ben?
Yeah.
Uncle Ben Franklin, or Ben Vereen?
I even had the Fresh Prince reference up there when being the guest star on Fresh Prince.
Okay. All right. So everybody,
So
pay your
everybody
money
hacking.
to
So
Red.
now everybody
Yeah,
hacking Red.
they hacking me, but I know I'm worth more hacking than Jay Wiz now.
So
I
Belief was
appreciate
yours
that, guy.
too. Belief was yours too. BELEAF.
Oh
That was
no,
your-
that's Thomas right there. No. I can't hack Thomas. He's too creative for me, man.
Christian said red minute electricity. My bad.
Might as well.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Night Nation, for joining in. You all have already made our day, and y'all watch out. Red is on alert for you all copying his material, so y'all better be aware.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get copyright soon.
He's
so I can
coming
get
for
paid
you.
for this stuff.
All right, let's move on from Dope No Coke. Since the fans have already talked about it, you all have made us shift our show. This is why we can't be regimented. Where will Ben wind up? Since y'all talked about Ben Simmons, we might as well go there. And you all have just definitely changed our show. We're going to talk about it second half, but the fans have spoken. We're going to move right into Ben Simmons. So, Coach, it sounded like you had something you had to say about the Ben Simmons, Doc Rivers things. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead on and combine this real quickly. Let me make this change. I'm going to put ... and then in question marks, in Doc we trust. So you can go either angle on this particular topic on here.
That's a good idea.
Let's just do it that way. Where will
Both the guys out the way.
in Doc we trust? All right, Coach. So you had issue with somebody trying to give Doc a pass. I think it was Armani. So it sounded like you were trying to give Armani some of that sports talk business, saying he was off track. So go with what you got to say, sir.
Well, what do the numbers 5 and 7 mean to Doc Rivers? I tell you what it means. 5 out of the 7 biggest blown leads in the NBA playoffs have come from Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, 18-point lead blown, 26 blown. I mean, Ben Simmons had his issues, and there's no doubt about it. We can say that all day, but you can't put this whole thing on Ben Simmons. Because I know one game, if he didn't score, he held Trey 5 of 23, something like that from the field. He played defense. But on top of that, let's look at the game they blew the 26-point lead on real quick. They had the lead. They were down by 1. Herder shoots a 3-pointer. Thibault tries to come behind him and block it. Mistake, foul. That's 3 more points you gave the Hawks. Then on top of that, Joel Embiid trying to do his globetrotter imitation dribble, and he turned the ball over. Another 2 points. So right there in those 2 plays, that's a 5-point swing just that fast. So, I mean, you can't put all of it on Simmons. You put some of it, but not all of it. For those people who think Ben Simmons will be leaving, he is not going anywhere. He will be a Sixer. Too much money on the books, and they say they're going to work with him. We're going to see, but I don't think anybody going to take that $144 million contract and try to take it knowing what they saw in the playoffs. That's my take.
All right. Anybody who agrees with Coach's take?
I don't think he's going anywhere. Although, I mean, the Hawks did get rid of Joe Johnson's contract, and nobody ever thought that was going to happen. So it is possible that somebody would take it. But after what they saw in the Phillies Hawks series, I wouldn't take him. He's a liability. I mean, I think that one play where he was there at the basket and decided to pass, that's pretty much the whole series for him, or the whole playoffs. I don't know where he went. He needs a sports psychologist. He needs somebody. I don't know if he has lost his confidence, but something has happened to him, because he wasn't like this last year. So something has happened. Was it the pandemic? Did he lose somebody? Something has happened to him. But I can't say, again, I can't say it's all Ben Simmons as much as I would like to. Doc Rivers is a championship winning coach. I don't know what happened with the Clippers, because now the Clippers are in the finals. That was the same team that he had last year. And so then he can't win with Philly. But he did win with Boston. So I don't know. Is maybe Doc getting old? Maybe it's because you got your son-in-law playing for you. I mean, I'm sure that's kind of a weird thing. That's weird because I mean, you can't be mad at him because that's your daughter's husband. But then she got it's a lot. So I think the Sixers really need a whole. They almost need a meeting, like a players only meeting to just come and figure it out. But Ben Simmons has to talk to somebody. He need to be on somebody's sofa all summer long.
All right, Red, jump in there.
All right. Coach, you asked what does 5-7 mean to you, I think. But what does game 7 mean to all of you? And that's like 5 or 6 consecutive game 7s that Doc Rivers has played in and has lost in. Okay. Now, let's go all the way back to the first game 7 he lost. Shelby said he's a championship coach. You're right. He's a championship coach almost 15 years ago, back in 2008. Now, let's go up to that first game 7 he lost when his Celtics were trying to beat my Lakers in 2010. Oh, yeah, Doc had a 3-2 lead on us. Thought you was doing something. And I told you Kobe was going to come back in game 6 and put us on his back and get us to game 7. And guess what? You didn't win that game 7. So, boom, that's where it began. Right there. Kobe started this process, Doc, because Doc Rivers has lost game 7s with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Josh Smith, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Good Lord, you can make an all-star team with all the players that Doc Rivers has lost game 7s with. And it's just getting to the point now. It's time for you to retire, Doc. It is time for you to retire, man, because eventually you're not going to be able to get a job. And this is going to be hanging on your reputation. This is what you're going to be remembered for and not the good things you've done coaching. And you have done some good things. You have inspired a lot of players. Your coaching has made players better. But it's like when the lights get bright, when it's time to focus, when it's time to get the most out of your players at the biggest moments, that's where you fail at. Like Shelby said, we can't explain it, dude, because you've been favored in a lot of these series. It's just a choke job, man. You're just choking it up at the wrong moments. Ben Simmons, what can I say that ain't been said about you already, man? You're just a liability offensive on the court. And Shelby, you say he hasn't been like this. Yeah, he has. He's been like this before. It just wasn't as in the spotlight as it was because it usually wasn't the main reason that the team lost. This year, it was absolutely the main reason that the team lost. Before, maybe Embiid was hurt and wasn't out. Maybe there were other instances where you could hide the fact that he was an offensive liability. But, dude, your talent alone is not going to save you this time. You got size, you got flow presence, you got defense. But, dude, this is a new NBA now, and you cannot be an offensive liability on the court. You cannot be a point guard who cannot shoot the ball. I mean, you went 4 straight games, 0 for 0 in field goals. 4 straight games. Game 4, game 5, game 6, game 7. All crunch time games. You did absolutely nothing offensively in the fourth quarter. Ben Simmons, dude, you about to get traded. Y'all say that he's not going to get traded. He is definitely going to get traded. I already heard the Warriors trying to looking to make a deal with him. Now I'm trying to figure out exactly who the Warriors going to move for him. I assume it's Andrew Wiggins because I don't think they trade in Draymond, Clay, or Steph. So, but some way, somehow, Ben Simmons, you gone. I don't even think Joel Embiid wants to play with this guy anymore. And Joel Embiid opinion matters in Philly. So if Joel Embiid don't want to play with you no more, I don't care where they trade this guy to. They can trade him to Sacramento for Kenyon Fox or whatever the guy name is in Sacramento. But trust me, Ben Simmons will have a new jersey on next season. Guaranteed. Book it.
All right. I'm kind of struggling. Because I don't know, Red, if you put more of the onus on Doc Rivers or Ben Simmons, because you went on your last tirade about Ben Simmons, so that kind of gives credence to why Doc may be struggling with the coaching in Philadelphia. I'm looking at his stats. And that's Hawk series. You paying the man. Look at what you're paying this man. I'm gonna put it up there for everybody. Let me put it up there for everybody to see. You're paying this man $30 million. You're paying this man $30 million to produce 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. 10, 6, and 9 gives you 30 million, 30.5 plus million. Is that on Doc Rivers? I don't know about that. I guess Ben didn't like my take, so somehow he jacked my connection. But anyway.
I see. I thought somebody happened to the voice.
Yeah, somebody jacked my connection. But nevertheless, man.
Ben don't like you talking about his money, Red.
Now, you know, in your commentary, Red, you did fail to mention that as the Lakers did beat the Celtics in Game 7, the Lakers also did beat Kobe with Doc Rivers as the coach as well. So somewhere down the commentary.
I said in 2008. They beat us in 2008.
So they're 1-1. So I don't think you can pretty much criticize Doc Rivers. And then also, wasn't one of the Celtics' best players at that time hurt in Game 7? One of the big guys hurt in Game 7?
I don't know if you consider Perkins one of their best players.
I think Perkins was one of the big guys because he was about the only big body that could deal with Andrew Bynum at the time.
Okay, so I guess he was a big man.
Let's put no. I'm a fact check you because you're leaving out some important details. And Kendrick Perkins, he ain't no Hall of Famer by any stretch of imagination, but he was the only big body that the Celtics had, and he was a starter who did not play. Huh?
You got to add the big three.
KG is not large enough to contest with Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum was how many pounds? We forget that other people on the team besides Kobe. I understand because Kobe won the championship.
I thought injuries were part of the game.
It is part of the game, but you have to take that into context. The context is Kendrick Perkins got hurt. Period.
That's why they choked us. Okay.
When Kendrick Perkins was healthy, they beat y'all, didn't they? They beat y'all, didn't they?
I think it was more than beat.
No. Did they beat you when he was healthy? Did they win the championship when he was healthy? All right.
More than Perk was there.
Silence is golden right there. All right, let's move forward.
They beat us. But
okay, then. So Kendrick Perkins mattered. Don't try to short. They lost when he got hurt, but they won when he wasn't hurt. You do the math. All right, moving forward. This is my time. You had your time. You talked for about 7 minutes. So I'm going to talk about All right. Here we go. Now, the other thing is all the players that you all mentioned, you and Coach real hard on Doc. Now, Doc lost Game 4 and 5. I'll give it to him. He trusted his bench too much. He should have gone back with his starters. I can't give him a pass for Games 4 and 5 in that Hawks series. But you're handcuffed when your second best player is making $30 million. But he's your best defender. So on defense, he's helping you slow down Trey a little bit, even though Trey was giving him 30. But it's like playing on 4-on-5 on offense, where you're hurting Embiid because the player that's playing against Ben Simmons, if he's on the outside, he can sag all the way to the paint. So how efficient on offense can you be when you have an offensive liability? So I'm trying to understand that. So how can this be more on Doc Rivers than it is on Ben Simmons? Let's go to Game 7. Did Doc Rivers lose Game 7? I'll point this question to you, Coach, since you were hard on him. Who lost Game 7 for the Sixers? Did he make some bad coaching moves? Did he make a bad coaching move? Go Game 6? Help me out.
Now remember when Doc Rivers took Simmons out and put Maxey in. Did they win that game?
Game 4 or game? I think they did win that because Maxey played more in Game 6.
And I'm not saying that's all, Doc. Like I said, you made the excellent point about being a 4-on-5 because you're not gonna get any offense from Simmons. But if Doc coaching. Maybe he should have seen that and took him out. Even though he's your best defender, you got to get some offense from somewhere.
But it's a tricky situation. All right. We all know that head coaches in the NBA are more suggesters than coaches. All right. What do I mean by that? They can suggest for these players to do certain things. They really can't coach them to do it because these players make too much money. Just like Coach Bud can suggest to the Greek Freak, stop shooting all these threes, Giannis. But if Giannis goes out there the next game and shoot 10 threes, what is Coach Bud going to do? He going to bench him? No, he won't have a job next year. Yeah. So Doc can suggest to Ben Simmons, why don't you work on your shot? I mean, you're a coach. I'm a coach. What player are we not going to tell who has the amount of talent Ben Simmons, you need to work on your jump shot, and they actually do it? But because Ben Simmons makes so much money, all Doc can do is suggest. So if he benches Ben Simmons and somehow Ben Simmons happens to remain because there's no trademark market, Doc is in trouble because it's easier to get rid of $5 and $6 million from a coach than it is to get rid of $120 million in 4 years. So you can't really bench Ben Simmons. That's where coaches' hands are tied. These are no longer the days when these players were making $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. These dudes are getting contracts over $100 million, and these are guaranteed contracts. So these coaches got to be very delicate. So you saw how Doc was trying to be delicate. He put his foot in his mouth where, somebody asked him, with Ben Simmons' free throw problems down the stretch, would you think about benching him? He had to play the politically correct role. Well, who benches Ben Simmons and yada, yada, yada. But he wound up doing it in Game 7 when it was on the line. So his hands are tied. And this is the one thing that we have to kind of take into consideration. Doc was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And then, y'all went down the list. What does Blake Griffin want? Help me understand this. Nothing. Chris Paul, great regular season player, is hurt most of the time. We know that Doc Rivers and Chris Paul bump heads. They both were point guards. Chris Paul probably thinks he knows more basketball than Doc Rivers. So that hurt as well. So that's some of the issue that I think went on with the Clippers. So, we got to take certain things into consideration. I don't think Doc Rivers is ancient by any stretch of the imagination. Let's remember, did he improve the Sixers this year?
Absolutely.
I asked Red that question. Did he improve the Sixers this year?
Yeah.
So why would he not still be relevant as a coach?
He's still relevant.
Well, you told him he don't need to be coaching basically anymore.
Here we go on this fence again.
Here we go on a what?
You say basically he shouldn't be coaching anymore. His time has passed him, but he improved the team. How does that work?
Here we go.
I don't know. Those are the things I can't understand sometimes. But nevertheless, I'll say it's 50-50. Doc 50, Ben 50, and it's going to be interesting. So let's shift it. It's shifted. Coach, you say Ben is going to be a Sixer next year. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Red, where does Ben wind up? Because I don't think you're sharing Coach's sentiment.
Warriors.
Who the Warriors giving up?
I guess it's Wiggins. And maybe some draft picks.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to put on your books, though.
Wow. Well, actually, the money almost equals because the Minnesota Timberwolves overpaid Andrew Wiggins, so the money kind of adds up. I don't know. Whew, that's an interesting take, but hey, I could possibly see that. Shelby, where does Ben wind up?
With the Sixers.
So you agree with your sports boo?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I know that's what their owner is saying. Well, we're entertaining. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's staying because I just look at a couple of years ago when he played in the playoffs. I think it is like Shelby said, it's more mental because a couple years ago he was averaging 16.6 a game in the playoffs. So that means he was doing something. So it's just a matter of somebody just got to slap him or, I don't know, grab him and just do something and say, hey, man, we got to have you. And like you said, they got to, I'm going to use your word, they got to suggest him what he need to be doing going forward. They got to. So, I mean, you're going to keep him. That's 140-something million that you trying to, you think you can get off the book, think somebody going to take that. That's what I'm looking at, that money.
Well, let me just interject real quickly. Don't be surprised if Ben and his people ask for a trade because Philadelphia is a hard market to play in. Matter of fact, I was listening to the Fanatic in Philadelphia after the series was over. And, of course, they don't call Doc Rivers. They call him Doc anymore. They call him Glenn.
Yes, he's Glenn.
And then they don't even call Ben Simmons anymore. They just call him 25. And I don't know if Ben Simmons is built for the amount of scrutiny that Sixers fans can put on a particular player. It takes a special persona to be able to thrive in Philadelphia. See, he needs to play in somewhere like Atlanta, right? Where they'll have a whole bunch of an apologist. He almost averaged a triple-double, so what's wrong? That's the kind of environment that Ben can survive in. But in Philadelphia, you see Carson Wentz helped them win a Super Bowl because Nick Foles finished it off, but Carson Wentz positioned them because they got home field advantage because of the play of Carson Wentz. They got him out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. So they don't care. And I think at the end of the day, Joel Embiid will determine Ben Simmons' fate, I think. If
he's out of that end.
Yeah, I think if Joel Embiid is fed up, and he might have been talking in his feelings at the end of the game. He might have calmed down. He might be able to encourage Ben to work on his game. We don't know. But if Joel Embiid is fed up, then the Sixers would be willing to trade Ben Simmons even if they don't get equal value. Because you got to keep Joel Embiid happy. As injury-prone as he is, Joel Embiid is that dude. And imagine if they got another player beside him that can score and do something, they'll really be doing some good things. So we'll see what happens, and it's going to be interesting. And you all do know his agent,
Rich Paul.
Rich Paul is asking the Sixers what they're thinking about and who might they be thinking about orchestrating a deal with. So I think
can't. Well, now wait a minute. You can't be Ben Simmons right now and ask where to go. That's what you cannot do. You need to take whatever team wants you. Because what we've seen is that you, again, need to go talk to somebody about whatever's going on in your life outside of basketball, because clearly what's going on outside is affecting on the court. Because then you put out this video of you shooting in a random gym. That tells me absolute nothing. All you do, that you just shooting against random people. I could do that. But you didn't shoot it when it was during the game. So you going and having a whole video of you shooting, showing that you still have your jump shot, does nothing. You can't tell me where you're going to go. You helped us lose to the Hawks. Let me be clear. To the Hawks. You don't get to decide where you go. We can send you to Utah if we want to. Or we can send you to go to New Orleans. No, you probably can't deal with that nightlife.
Sacramento.
They ain't going on. Sacramento giving the Sixers? Who you think?
Fox.
Please. No, they not. But see,
if I'm Fox, I want out. I'm like, man, send me there immediately.
Shelby, what you saying is the reason I say he ain't going nowhere, because there were 29 TVs on watching the same Ben Simmons.
Right.
Take on that. They see him not shoot. You think
that's what I'm saying. That's why you can't tell me where you gonna go.
With all that,
everybody watched you. You better
Well,
be
the
somebody
Warriors are
wants you.
interested in him, and I'm sure they got a TV in Chase Center.
But the Warriors could use him because they don't need him to really
They don't
shoot
need
from
him.
the outside. When you
Well,
got two snipers,
who actually would take him? They would take
no,
him.
no, I'm
And
not. I'm
sure-
not. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not
No,
disagreeing.
not you, Ray. I'm talking about Shelby. You wanted to know who would take the
But
contract?
again, but you don't need him to be Ben Simmons. You
Well, I'm
just
sure
need,
he would
almost you
prefer.
need him to stand there.
Who would you prefer to play? Would you prefer to go over to the West Coast playing with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, or would you prefer to stay here with Embiid dogging you out after? I'm saying personally, I think it would be a come up if he's able to get to Golden State, because like you say, they don't really need him to score over there. I doubt after a playoff game, if he goes 0 for 0 in the fourth quarter, they're gonna be looking at him instead of looking at Steph, Clay, or other guys on the team. So that might be the best thing for him,
Yeah,
take a little stress out of his life. Let him get some of that California sun.
Yeah.
Besides, ain't he dated Kardashian in any way? I hate to bring the TMZ part up of the show,
Here we
but
go.
he is dating a Kardashian.
He
And
is
maybe he want to
not.
be closer to his boo.
He's
There
not.
we go, Red.
He's
Here
not.
we go with the dating life.
Rare.
That's
Go ahead.
probably his problem. He need to let that Kardashian woman go.
Coach, go with it. Go with it. Coach.
Here's a question. What does Philly do, or what they couldn't do anything about it if Simmons goes somewhere and decide to score again? What happens with Philly then?
Well, I don't understand what score again is, though, Coach. Like,
More aggressive. Being aggressive.
I mean, I think he's aggressive now. I think when you start talking about the playoffs, then every point counts, and he couldn't be aggressive because he can't shoot free throws. That's the reason why he didn't shoot that wide open dunk, because he was afraid to get fouled. So I think he can score on the break. But when you start talking about playoffs and when every possession counts, they start talking about Hacker Ben, his confidence is gone. So I don't think it's a problem of scoring. It's just he can't score in the playoffs when teams are just keying in on him, where they can send him to the free throw line just to save a possession.
But something had to have happened, because that man, you go from 16 points a game a couple years ago to just not even scoring. Something happened that's in his head or something.
We weren't criticizing him being coach, and we weren't saying his offense is the main. He wasn't saying his offense is the main reason. I'm saying his offense is being criticized now. So now it's getting inside of his head. Before, it wasn't getting inside his head. We weren't criticizing him at the free throw line. We weren't, even though we all was saying Ben Simmons not giving you much offensively, but we was always talking about everything else he was doing. Now, ain't nobody thinking about everything else he's doing. It is strictly, what are you doing on the offensive level? What are you scoring? How many points are you giving me? You're not giving me any points, you're no good. And that is getting inside this man's head. Team Light Skin is taking a big hit.
All right, let's pause right here, and we'll go on to the Braves report, and then we'll come back, talk some more.
I know you want to say something, Shelby.
No.
You had a closing comment? Go ahead.
No. I will not respond to Team Light Skin. I
told you. I know what she thinks. I know her mind.
All right, let's go. Let's switch gears, and let's go on to the Braves report.
Braves report. What is that? The Kentucky Derby? Real, that is the Kentucky Derby, man.
All right, go with it. Give us the Braves report.
Oh man, Shelby, you got something, or you want me to go?
No, go ahead. I said the Braves are playing.
Yeah.
In the report.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I did have one thing to say about them this week, but she's right. I mean, they played in a report. I mean, pretty much up and down all week. They had a doubleheader with the Mets on Monday, I think. I think they split that. No, they actually won both of those games, and then they lost the last game of the series, just like they always do. Get our hopes up, thinking it's about to turn around, and here we go. We'll lose the last game of a series instead of sweeping, which is what we should have did. You had 2 games versus Cincinnati. You split that one. once again, we come up this week because our rotation again. We have to have a game where we have to have an opener instead of a true starter. Now, what I will say about the Braves, one positive thing about the Braves is Drew Smiley. Drew Smiley, in his last 3 starts, he has an ERA of 1.67 and 0 home runs allowed. So maybe Drew Smiley turning the corner. We don't know. But we had another pitcher go on the injury list this week. Max Fried back on the injury list again. So you see one positive, you get one positive, and you get a few more negatives. It just has been all season. We just can't turn the corner. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's the Braves all season long, which is why I say they'll be a wild card team at best.
They can't be a wild card team because they're not in the wild card chase. They only can win the division.
Oh, well, then I guess no playoffs. Unless, like I say, unless the Mets choke and somehow. Well, the good thing is they're not completely out of the division. But
right, they're 36 and 39, 5 games out of first place. New York Mets are 39 and 32. Washington are 4 games out. Matter of fact, the Braves are tied in the standings with the Phillies, and the Miami Marlins are bringing up the rear 9 games out. So they're not totally out of it, but they can't go. They won't qualify for the wild card because the Dodgers and San Diego, who are in 2nd and 3rd place in their division, they are 9 games and 9 and 8 games better than the Braves right now.
Sure.
So the 2 wild cards will go to the West.
That's right. I think we talked about this last week. You're right. That's right. We did say the wild. Okay, so I mean, but we have seen. Look, the good news is we have seen the Braves win the division when facing deficits 5 games or even more. I mean, they chased Philly down two seasons back when Philly was the complete overall favorite. They chased them down. It took like maybe August or September for them to finally take the division, but eventually they took it. So 5 games by the New York Mets. Not really nothing to get worried about, but the Braves have got to find some consistency. If you don't find any consistency, none of us are going to believe that you're going to take this division. So once you become consistent, we'll start believing. Until then, what are the Hawks and Falcons doing?
All right, Coach, you got it.
You missed something, Ed.
Uh-oh, what I miss, Coach?
Charlie Morton.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Morton, he's been pretty good lately. He's definitely been pretty good. I said that last week, though.
But this is this week. This is today's Braves.
Okay, he's still all right. Charlie Morton from last week, he's still pitching pretty effective. He hasn't had a bad start in his last 5 games.
A long Braves report.
All right, here we go. That's the good 5 minutes for the Braves report. It's officially halftime of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Thank you all for watching the first half. We talked Ben Simmons, Doc Rivers, Dope No Coke, the Braves report. We didn't even get into the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. That's coming up your way right now. Stay tuned.
What we been talking about?
Red Coach and your sports girl, Chevy. We're coming in just a moment. Holla at you. And we are back, and I see that Shelby had a little rock going on behind closed doors, and Rev was doing this YM John Travolta uh, disco fever little thing going on. You, you got all that going on in the background. I was tempted to let everybody see how the halftime spirit was moving you behind closed doors. But you were in the spirit, the halftime spirit, that's for sure. But nevertheless, we'll get ready to start with the second half, and we've had to reconfigure the show since the Reverend Knights took us to a direction that we weren't initially planning on going. But my brothers and sisters, let's get ready to go back, and let me cue this music up right quick. Talk some more basketball, Curtis Blow style. We're going to talk these NBA conference finals. Let's go ahead on and deal with the home team first. Bucks versus Hawks tied 1-1. The Hawks shocked the world on Wednesday night, laid a major egg on Friday night. We know that they come back on tomorrow to play Game 3 in the ATL, and look at Shelby representing that fallen team that she had talked about a month ago.
Exactly. Thank you, Rev. Talking about they was in a free fall.
They were. At the time that I said that, they were in a free fall.
They were not close.
That they listened to the
halftime Holy Ghost. Joe Black is having a bit of Red and Rev Sports Show nostalgia. We need Coach to bring back his bars.
We do.
That's one of the things that was taken away when we stopped doing the show in person. All right, Hawks still in 6. We see that Joe Black is still keeping hope alive with the Hawks. All right, Shelby, I'm going to let you start first since you came in uniform. I mean, even after taking a terrible loss, you still coming in. Look at the guns on Shelby. My Lord. Don't hurt us, Shelby. Please, Shelby. Don't hurt us. Don't hurt us. All right.
Steroids.
So
steroids?
Like Red just jealous because Shelby can bench press more than you. That's all it is.
I can bench press
Okay, you got me, Real. You got me, Real.
But go ahead, Shelby. Tell us what you're thinking about this series. It's tied 1-1. Where do we go now as Hawks fans?
I'm just so proud of this team. I mean, the way they've been on the road, I don't think any of us thought that they would take 3 games in Philly. I know I did. When we lost game 6, I was with you, Rev. I'm like, okay, it's over. We could have taken it here, but we didn't. And then we went to Philly and we won. And then we started out just like we started out with New York and Philly. We took game 1 in somebody else's house. And that's how you start. I know last night was a horrible game. All right, fine. Chalk it up to, we'll just say they were tired. Maybe they needed some lemon pepper wings. I don't know. But I'm excited for this team. If they don't do anything else this season has been magical. It's been 3 months since we got a new coach. It's been 3 months, and we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. In January, we did not see this coming. And you have to give all recognition to the Hawks front office for saying in March, Lloyd Pierce, it's time for you to go. Because in the past, we probably would have said, okay, we'll do it after the season. This season is shot. We'll wait till after the season to make a move. But they didn't. They said, no, we believe in this team. And now you have a coach who makes adjustments. You have a coach who the team is getting behind. I still say the Hawks win. I don't trust the Bucks. Okay, they had a good game yesterday, but a lot of that, like you said, Rev, was because of our turnovers. And if y'all, hey, Trey, I love you. I got your jersey. Maybe stop trying to shoot from 30 feet all the time. You don't have to take that shot every time you go down, okay? Maybe let's set a play up. But I think, again, I trust Nate McMillan to have a come to Jesus with Trey, maybe on the plane, to say, bruh, love you, but you got to stop doing that. And I think we win game 3 and game 4 at home, and maybe we'll win it in, I don't say 5, but I will say Hawks in 6.
All right. Coach, I'm going to let you follow up Shelby's statement. She says Hawks in 6. Your thoughts about the first 2 games, and then give us your prediction going forward.
Well, I think the Hawks caught the Bucks slipping, and the Bucks didn't respect them in that game 1. And they came out there and showed them, hey, we not to be played around with. You know, y'all, everybody's saying Milwaukee got to this, the size, they got this. And the Hawks came out and did what they had to do to get some respect from the Bucks. But game 2, there was no excuse for that. Zero excuse to go down that far from where you been all series. Then here go the statistician. Well, the Hawks have always won game 1. Oh, the Hawks have always lost game 2. Oh, no, there was no excuse for that terrible performance last night. That was garbage. And I saw you alluded, Trae Young, all those turnovers. No, that could be a carryover in this game, and everybody says, "Oh, he's going to improve." What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? What if he could try to do, try to do a little more than he needs to, and he has some more mistakes? I think he's going to improve, but you can't have a game like that in the playoffs and make a complete rebound like you did. Clint Capella, did Clint Capella have 2 points or 4 points? My gosh, you invisible again with a big man. You're not doing it. And, it's going to take some extra effort to get that win. And I just don't think, I think the Hawks may win 1 more, but I think it's going to go to the Bucks in 6. Bud, as much as he's been maligned, he's fighting for his coaching job. So he's going to do the necessary things to get the Bucks up, and Giannis is hurting them down low. It's embarrassing to watch what he's doing to the Hawks on front line. So I'm going to say Bucks in 6.
All right, so we got Hawks in 6, Bucks in 6. So Red, your thoughts about the first 2 games, and then where are we going with this prediction going forward?
The game 2, I enjoyed tremendously. No, game 1. Sorry. Game 1, I enjoyed tremendously.
Still hung over from that beatdown, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Game 2, like you said, I think I'm coming around and you'll take a little more real. I think Trae was feeling himself a little bit. Tried to come out and wanted to prove to the world that he was everything that they said he was the past few days. Tried, like you say, he was forcing a lot, and of course, him forcing a lot led to his 8 or 9 turnovers in the first quarter. First half. And like I say, that is going to contribute to the huge deficit that we are in. And like you say, we feed off of Trae Young. So if you go out there playing out of control, of course the whole team is going to play out of control. So it was just a bad game too. We came in feeling ourselves, smelling the salts. Milwaukee just pretty much playing for their playoff lives because they know if they go down 2-0, pretty much over with. So they came back, rebounded from game 1. I'm not panicked. I'm not worried. It was a bad game from the Hawks all the way around. Either you can forget or you can use this game as a teaching tool. I think Nate will use the game as a teaching tool and get us back on track for game 3. We're coming home. We're going to be sleeping in our beds. Milwaukee, you're going to have to try to survive in our city. Try not to feed into temptation for the next few days. Lots of teams have tried. Lots of teams have failed. So we'll see how you respond to it. Well, they used to not fail, but they've been failing this particular playoff season. So there you go. That's a little bit more accurate. So I'm still believing in the Hawks. I think we're going to come home and set the record straight. And Hawks still in – I had Hawks in 5 at the beginning of the series, but Hawks in 6 now.
Oh, man. I might be pulling a Red right here, straddling the fence. This is a difficult one for me. I think game 3 will help determine the trajectory of this particular series. It's going to be interesting to see how the Hawks bounce back from that whooping that they took on yesterday. It's going to be important to see how Trey plays. I'm hoping that Nate McMillan indeed will use, as Red alluded to, game 2 as a coaching tool. Game 3 will show us a lot where Trae Young's head is, see if he is very coachable, and he is definitely looking at what Nate had to share with him. I think that's the benefit of Nate McMillan being his coach, especially Nate McMillan played point guard. And because it appears Trey has given Nate McMillan a lot of respect, I think we'll see a different Trae Young. I think we'll see a more controlled Trae Young. The Trae Young that we saw in game 2 is a Trae Young that did not have a reason to be named an all-star. That was the Trae Young that we saw with Lloyd Pierce, the out of control, just doing what he wanted to do. But the Trae Young that's allowed this team to be the Eastern Conference Finals is the Trae Young we saw in game 1, taking what the defense gives them. If that means scoring 47 points, that means scoring 47 points. I think the shimmy got to his head. I think everybody talking about how he threw that backboard alley-oop to John Collins got to his head. So I think he was looking for more highlights that people could talk about instead of just making the proper basketball play. And, you know, when you feel like you deserved all that attention and you don't feel like you got the attention, and now you finally got all the attention, you're being the lead on all the sports shows, it can go to a kid's head. I mean, you know, anybody is susceptible to that, you know, but we got to put everything in context and let Trey come back down. Hopefully getting drilled like that will help him come on down, get back to the player. Now, yes, he's a young player, but some things are unacceptable. One thing is if he misses a lot of shots, okay, that's youth. But just turning the ball over when it's unforced, that's not about youth. That's just trying to do too much, period. You know, let's stop making excuses. Nobody was talking about he's a young player when he dropped 40 some odd points the other day. Nobody was talking about young player dishing out 13, 14 assists. Yeah, that he was young and he did that too. But, the bottom line is he was trying to do too much, trying to live up to that. So, Rev, what's your point? My point is game 3 is going to matter. I see this going 7. I see it going 7. And I think the Bucks will get tight. So I'm gonna go with the Hawks in 7. If it goes 7, the Hawks will win because I think the Bucks will get a little tight. Giannis will be pressing. Bud will be looking for the closest Budweiser to kind of calm him down. So I'm gonna go with the Hawks in 7.
That's a good take, Rev. I think a lot of these teams, if they get us to that, you should get us to that 7th game. If you're gonna beat us, because if you get us to that 7th game, you playing with fire with us. It's just we're just able to do too many things on the court. Yeah, you can stop us, but if we on, what you gonna do? And then, like I say, we got a good coach. We got a star player. If you want to beat us, you better beat us before game 7. Because taking us in game 7, we just that team. We just that tricky team who could have you looking like Philly or the Knicks.
And the Hawks can play loose because nobody expected them to go that far. So and the Bucks got all pressure, so that would definitely hurt the Bucks. One quick question before we go on to the next series. We saw a Cam Reddish sighting yesterday. Even though it was garbage time, he got some good minutes because even before halftime, Nate McMillan threw him in the game before he completely threw in the towel. Do you expect Cam Reddish to do anything that will help the Hawks in this series? Real quickly. Yes, no, and maybe one sentence why you say yes or no.
Yes, because we need him to.
That's short and simple. Okay. All right, cool.
You said keep it short. And I don't want to hear Shelby mouth.
Now one extra sentence. I'm going to give you something that I normally don't like for you to do. One extra sentence. Why do we need him to?
Bogey is killing us right now. We need something extra and unexpected, and he would be that.
Good take, Red. Good take. Shelby, you seem like you're in Red's amen corner.
I know. I don't even know what's happening right now. But I think Bogey is clearly hurt. We don't know how hurt, but the knee is definitely bothering him. I mean, you can tell on his threes, he's just not getting enough jump or something is going on with the knee. Cam Reddish could give him time to rest, and it also gives the Bucks a new look because you don't have Cam Reddish on tape, and you can't prepare for him because all they have is past tape. You don't know what he can do now. So I think that puts a new wrinkle in the offense. And again, I trust Nate. I trust Nate to do what needs to be done to win.
All right, Coach. Does Cam Reddish help the Hawks?
It doesn't hurt, you get another body out there to be able to defend and score. So it doesn't hurt them. You need that extra all hands on deck. So hey, he's gonna help.
Okay, and I have to agree with all of you all. Man, the less I can see of Solomon Hill and Tony Snell, the better I feel. I mean, those players are not built for the playoffs. They are regular season players, and you don't want to see those kind of players out there too often. So that's
with Snell. He can't make 1 3 in the playoffs. This dude was shooting 50% from 3-point.
Red, stop it. I remember you talking about we didn't need Cam Reddish, Tony Snell, and that. There's a reason why Tony Snell has been an NBA journeyman his whole career. There's a reason.
Come on, Real. I had to see it in the playoffs now. I definitely see now, brother. Because Lord, this dude is absolutely trash, man. He's giving us nothing.
Yeah. That's why I wanted you to calm that down.
So you knew this was gonna happen when the playoffs started?
Yeah. I mean, he might have given us one game in the playoffs, but when teams can just game plan for your team, they're going to expose all the weaknesses. That regular season, they're trying to game plan for 2 and 3 teams at a time, but postseason they're keying in just on you, and those kind of players don't normally produce well. They may get one good game in, and then they'll game plan against them, and then it's a wrap. Let me pause.
I like Solomon Hill's energy now. I ain't really depending on him for scoring. We don't want to play 20 minutes game. We don't. Yeah, but Snell is completely useless.
10 minutes max. 10 minutes max.
But Snell is completely useless. If he ain't hitting no threes, he don't need to be on the court.
Let me pause right quickly, man. Alexis Hill is having a birthday, man. Somebody show him some love. Alexis Hill, happy birthday, brother. Yeah, happy birthday, Alexis. We're going to pause it just for you, man. Get that man a hand. Send him some hearts. Send him some likes. For brother Alexis Hill.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Woo. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mays High. Alexis Hill in the house. UPS, Alexis Hill. Represent, buddy.
All right, man. That's going to be a serenation for the record, for one that we'll never forget right there. All right, Red. All right.
Could have played the song.
The Antioch Baptist Church waiting for your tenor voice.
No, they're not.
They're waiting for your tenor voice to come and give the Lord some praise.
Thanks for remembering my church, Ram.
I had to remember it because sometimes I know you probably don't remember it. So
I hope none of my church members heard that. I ain't forgot y'all.
All right. Let's shift gears real quickly. We know there's another series going on out west. The Suns are winning 2 games to 1. The Suns won 2 games without Chris Paul being in COVID protocol. But then when they go to LA, Chris Paul returns. He doesn't shoot too well. We know that Devin Booker is wearing a mask because he has a broken nose. They both shot horribly. And the Clippers playing with house money. They win game 3, especially after a great shooting performance by Brother Jackson. Brother Jackson is shooting the lights out, and I'm gonna just call him Paul George. I'm not even gonna call him Pandemic or Playoff or Paula, as Red would call him. But Paul George had a decent game. I think dropped about 23. So with that being said, Coach, I'm gonna start with you. Will the Clippers tie the series tonight? And what is your prediction going forward?
Clippers in 7. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the Clippers. I've been with them since the first day of the playoffs. I'm gonna stay with them because they have done basically it's the same format. They done started every series 0-2, and then something kicks in and wakes them up, and they decide to start playing. So tonight they pick up another win, tie the series up 2-2, and they win in 7. I'm going with the Clippers. I'm gonna stay with them, even though it's why. But Paul George say that's all right. Get on my back. Although it got a little rust on, get on my back. We gonna get to the championship.
Well, we know that Coach is loyal. Once he picks you or roots for you, he ain't going nowhere.
Nope. All right. Red, he'll change it.
Go ahead, Red. Do you agree with Coach's take?
Absolutely not. I know I was with Coach last week when he was with the Clippers, but I'm sorry, Coach. Like Shelby said, I'm flip-flopping on you this week. Look, if the Suns, Rev, your question was, what will happen tonight, right?
Night and then in the rest of the series.
Well, if CP3 is the player I think he is, and if he has any aspirations about going to the NBA Finals, the Suns will most definitely win tonight and take a 3-1 lead, heading back home for Game 5 and end this right away so you can sit back and get ready for my Hawks, okay? Because I don't want to see the Clippers in the finals, because just so happen if my Hawks make it to the finals and we happen to play the Clippers, I do not want to be the team that allows the Clippers to get their first ring. So I need Phoenix to make the championship, the NBA Finals, no matter what. Because if my Hawks lose to Phoenix Suns in the finals, I can accept that. I can accept going down to CP3. I can accept going down to Booker. I ain't accepting losing to no doggone Clippers and no Pammy George. So Phoenix, y'all better handle y'all business tonight. Because I don't need to see the Clippers tie this series up, and I don't need to see the Clippers go to Game 7. Because if they do, Lord have mercy, CP3, we all know what happens to you in clutch Game 7 moments. Either 1, you're not going to show up, or 2, you're not going to show up physically. So either way it go. You either ain't going to show up literally, or you're not going to show up physically. So Phoenix, y'all need to hurry up and get these Clippers out the way so CP3 can get his rest, and y'all can sit back and wait on my Hawks. So the answer to your question, Rev, is Phoenix will win tonight, and they will win this series in 5 unless something catastrophic happens.
So we jump in there. What happens tonight? Who wins the series?
I was trying to figure out what catastrophic was, but anyway. So I picked the Suns to come out of the West, and I am sticking with the Suns. Devin Booker has to get rid of the mask. I know he has a broken nose, but I do understand that can alter your vision. So I think we need to get rid of the mask. But I still think they win in 6. I do think the Clippers tie it up today, just because they're in LA. Why not? Go ahead and tie it up, and then the Suns win the last 2. But I think the Suns in 6.
The Suns in 6, and she is sticking with her pick. I think tonight is a critical game for the Suns, and especially for Chris Paul. One of the things that we definitely have to take heed, or not take heed, but remember, the Suns got dealt a major blow because little point guard, what's his name?
Cameron
Payne got hurt, and he was riding the ship. He was driving, and he was doing an excellent job. And I think what happened to the Suns in Game 3 is that Chris Paul wound up having to play too many minutes coming off of COVID. And that really hurt the Suns. Cameron Payne pushes the pace. Chris Paul is more of a control type, half court type point guard. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Cameron Payne can come back. And then also, this is, to me, a legacy game for CP3 because the last thing the Suns need is to be questioning if they were better without CP3 than with CP3. They were together winning. Granted that game 2, the Clippers probably should have won that game. Paul George hits 2 free throws, and then also they don't get to that point where all DeAndre Ayton has to do is tip the ball, and they're up 2 games to 1. But the Suns still won 2 games without CP3. So this game is critical because they don't want the players questioning, is CP3 hindering us after he was the one who had been helping them all along. So this game tonight is so critical, and I think the Suns better win tonight. That will give them a little room for error. But if they lose tonight, the Suns can definitely start pressing as well as start questioning. And you don't want young players to start questioning their leader. So I think if any of these games are a must win, this is a must win for the Suns tonight. And I think CP3 will bounce back, do what he needs to do, be the leader that he needs to be. I think the team understands there may be a limited Cameron Payne if he plays at all. They'll make the proper adjustments, just like Shelby has trusted Nate McMillan making adjustments. I believe Monty Williams will make the adjustments that are necessary as well. Plus, the Suns got extra ammunition. You win this one, you take it back home. 3 games to 1, you can end the series. So I'm going to go with the Suns winning today and winning in 5, put the Clippers out of their misery, and Monty makes the necessary adjustments that need to take place.
Thanks, Real. But what's the issue with Cameron Payne?
He hurt his ankle.
His ankle.
Man, a high ankle sprain?
They did not necessarily classify if it was high or not. They just said ankle sprain.
Yes, because he's right. CP3, he needs the backup. He can't play all those minutes. You got to have the rotation balance. So come on, Cameron Payne. I don't need the Suns choking right now. Like Real said, we do not need folks questioning CP3 again. Because you know what they're going to say? They're going to bring up all his choke jobs, all of his mishaps, all his playoff failures. And it seems like we'll go from all of the talk about the praising the Suns to now we talking about that. So,
Yep. And to Joe Black's chant, a comment.
That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
That would
be awesome.
Black. Ooh.
That would be awesome. We're a couple, 1 game away. Well, we know there's going to be at least 1 black head coach.
Yeah, we're going to have at least 1.
The West, both of their head coaches are black. Coach Bud is the only one getting in the way of it.
Well, then, Coach, we'll have all black conference then. Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Let's look at it. All right, let's shift gears real quickly. And we know there was a lot of movement this past week. NBA coaching changes. People are beginning to hire their candidates, and we're going to start in Beantown. Their coaching hire with brother Shelby. Since you are the pronunciation police on here, I'm going to let you pronounce his name so I don't get go viral mispronouncing his name. How do you pronounce his name?
I believe it's Ime Udoka.
Okay, that sounds right. We're going to roll with that.
That's it.
All right, Boston Celtics.
How you know? My fault. You know him too? Y'all was with Kobe shooting in the gym. That's how y'all know each other?
No. I know how to read, and I've heard the correct pronunciation of the guy's name. And I was just trying to support you. But hey, if you don't believe you got it right, maybe it's wrong.
I'm just saying.
No,
let's not put reading into it.
Go ahead.
All right, let's move on and let's talk about it. Let's go to what we have done in the past. Good move or bad move? Good move or bad move for the Boston Celtics hiring our brother Udoka or Udoki, however we say it. And we know that he was hired by the former head coach, the most recent head coach of the Boston Celtics, Brad Stevens. So Real quickly, good move or bad move, and 30 seconds, why or why not. Since Coach has a coach in front of his name, that's not what his mama called him, but that's what the sports show calls him. So we'll go with that. Coach, good move or bad move, and why or why not?
Udoka, I would go good move. I mean, young coach who's come up through the ranks. He's been a good assistant. He getting his chance to coach the Celtics, and he's going to get a Celtics roster with hopefully with a full complement of players. Everybody's going to be well. I think he can do well with them. Playoffs, you never know. You just got to see how it works. But I say good move.
Now, what do you know about him to make you think it's a good move?
He came up under Popovich. That's all I need to hear. When I hear that, I know he knows something about basketball, and then I think he used to play for him, so I know he knows basketball. So I say good move.
All right, Shelby, good move or bad move?
I think it's a good move. I have to agree with Coach. Anybody who comes up under Pop, it's kind of like anybody who comes up under Nick Saban. You know they know what they're doing. He knows basketball, and he's young. And I like this kind of movement that the NBA is doing where they're going younger. They're getting younger coaches, and they're giving these young guys an opportunity. Being picked by Brad Stevens gives him a good pedigree. I mean, you got some authority there. You were handpicked by the former coach. I think it's a good move.
Red, good move or bad move? Boston Celtics hired the brother.
It's a good move, but I want to state that Coach Bud came up under Pop too, so I ain't gonna give Pop all of that. But
well, he is in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? For the second time.
But only because he got a superstar in Giannis. You take Giannis away in the Bucks. All right, you're right, dog. But let me get to my point real quick. It's a good move. Young black up and coming head coach. You love to see young African American coaches get opportunities in the NBA, and he's not getting a garbage team. He's actually getting a team that he can actually win with. So that's good, especially being hired by a white guy in Boston, hiring a young brother to coach his perennial contending team. That's a very good move. Very good move at changing times up in that area. So good move. I agree with Shelby and Coach.
So what's the Nia Long reference? She dating him?
That's her baby daddy.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's
I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't want to get to the TMZ part.
You brought it up in our pregame text yesterday, so that's I didn't do the research. Okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna say it's a good move for all the reasons that you all talked about with Pop, but also because it seems that the two top players on the Celtics encouraged this move. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, for reports say that they loved his work with USA Basketball when they both played and did camp. So because their two top players encouraged the move, they have added incentive to allow him to be the best coach that he can be, or be the best suggester that he can be. All right.
Hey, Rev, that's a dope moment right there. Because remember early in the season, we were talking about how Harden and Westbrook didn't stick up for their black coach, and we got two young brothers, representing, putting the word out for a young brother to get a coach. I like that right there. Good job, Tatum and Brown.
I think if we go back to that Houston Rocket thing, I think James Harden, and Coach might not like this take, I think James Harden was trying to find a way to divorce himself from Russell Westbrook. I think that was more so than being against Paul Silas. I think he just didn't see anything positive happening. And then also I think he saw that there was the opportunity to either go to Philadelphia or Brooklyn, and he wanted to play for something meaningful. Because in Houston, he could have made money. They could have gone to the playoffs, but they weren't going to win. So I think it was that. Go ahead, Coach. You got your Baptist finger. Your defense of Russell Westbrook.
What is Westbrook? What has Harden done? What has he done?
About the same as Russell Westbrook.
Exactly.
Now, Rev, don't forget too about the coaching hire in Brooklyn. They were saying how Durant and Kyrie allowed the white guy Nash to get the job instead of sticking up for a young African American coach to get that job as well. You remember?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the African American coach was Jock Vaughn, but he was only the interim.
Yeah.
Oh my God, not him. I thought they were talking about somebody else. That's what they were.
They got rid of the head coach who was doing a decent job, and then Jock Vaughn took over when they went into the bubble, and then they handpicked. They wanted Steve Nash, and you see they performed for him. They performed for him. You know, I mean, Steve Nash was definitely not the problem in Brooklyn. Injuries hurt him. And, you know, Steve Nash, in spite of the injuries, did a phenomenal job, if I say so myself, because he not have the big three hardly played with each other at all. But he still made them very competitive, and he still had a system that allowed them to play. I think he might have overplayed them too much in the playoffs, but, you know, hey, I think he still did a solid job. All right, let's go to the next team because we got several. Indiana Pacers hire a retread of theirs. Rick Carlisle, who previously coached the Indiana Pacers before he spent 13 years as the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to start with Shelby on this one. Good move or bad move by the Indiana Pacers?
I think it's a good move for Rick Carlisle because he didn't want to be in Dallas anymore with everything going on with Mark Cuban and his gambling friend who makes all the decisions. Indiana has a problem. They fired Nate McMillan after 1 year. Then they fired this other guy. I don't even know what his name was after 1 year. I guess they were
long enough for us to get his name, huh?
I guess they were waiting on Rick Carlisle to come back. I mean, so again, good move for Rick Carlisle, but I don't know what's going on with Indiana. I mean, they can't keep a coach, so obviously something's going on. I don't know if it's within the team or the front office, but Rick Carlisle's a really good coach, and hopefully he can win there, but nobody else can. So I don't know. I don't know what the Pacers are looking for.
That's a good take. Red, good move, bad move, Indiana Pacers.
I think it's a Sierra move, and I'll explain why. I think this is more about happy wife, happy life. I know Rick's family was extremely happy when he was coaching the Pacers before, I heard. And I guess he jumped at the opportunity to go back over there after he realized things weren't working well in Dallas. But I believe his wife, being from the Indiana area, probably just preferred. I mean, after it didn't work in Dallas, he just said, baby, let's just go on back to my hometown. I mean, you did pretty decent when you was over there. Not too bad. Opportunity opened up, and he jumped up on it. Now, Shelby, let me correct you. You said Nate was fired after 1 season in Indiana. No, that was the recent head coach. He was fired after 1 season. Nate was fired after 3 seasons and 3 first-round exits. My bad. But I feel like I say, Rick coached in Indiana before. I'm pretty sure he had a decent time. They didn't get close to the championship. Eventually won in Dallas, and like Shelby said, he doesn't. I guess he's done with Mark Cuban. He doesn't want to be around the Luka Diva experiment. So, I mean, he probably had a chance to go back to Boston too. But I think Indiana is more of a low-key town. I don't think he's ready to deal with all that pressure that he had to deal with in Dallas and probably some of these other contending towns. I think Indiana is just low-key enough for him, his family, and him to coach the style that he wants to. I don't think nobody's going to bother him in Indiana.
Coach, bad move, good move. Indiana Pacers hire Rick Carlisle.
I'm going to date myself right here and start singing the song, the theme music from Welcome Back, Kotter. Take it all the way back to there. They welcome back Carlisle. Carlisle is a good coach. Regardless, you know, he's going to be a decent coach to try to patch together that group. The Pacers have a decent team, and what they did to the other Nate Pachukas or whatever his name is, that was kind of wrong for just slicing him after 1 year. But, you know, Carlisle's going to bring some experience. He's going to bring a good wealth. So I'm going to say good move. I got distracted for a minute because I saw some comments, but I'm going to be a bigger man today. I'm not going to.
I know those Westbrook comments, you're struggling with them. We understand.
Coach, I remember well. I remember Welcome Back, Carter Coach, so you're not too old. I remember John Travolta. Welcome back.
Oh, Red trying to work with the CD.
Red. This is not America's Next Talent. Please.
I thought you were gonna say American Bandstand.
I will say Red got a joy out of fact checking you, Shelby. That last comment, boy. I would have loved to have seen him in person, boy. He was chomping at the bit to fact check.
Like, come on.
I got her where I want her. But anyway,
it happens quite often if you really look at it.
It is not.
I want to say it's a good move for the Indiana Pacers because they need some stability. You can't go 3 years, 3 head coaches and expect your team to go somewhere. So if they did not like the experiment after Nate McMillan, the last coach, Rick Carlisle's a proven head coach. Some folk will say he just had 1 championship in Dallas. I mean, he's getting the Doc Rivers treatment. Let's just be honest about it. 1 championship goes a long way. Not too many coaches in the NBA have an NBA championship. For after all, most of the championships went to San Antonio with Pop, Phil Jackson, who was no longer in the league. Steve Kerr has 3. Outside of those guys, who else has championships? Doc Rivers, Rick Carlisle, and Nick Nurse. That's about it. So it's something to have a championship coach on your squad. And I think the Indiana Pacers need a coach like Rick Carlisle who can work well with not a whole lot of talent. And I think he'll actually be more of a coach than a suggester since they don't have a top-notch roster. And I think he'll be able to do a lot. And I'm not going to – I said the last coach did a decent job. I mean, it wasn't like he had that much talent. Exactly. And he still did a solid job. They went into the play-in game. They came up short against the Wizards, but they did decently. So, I don't know how much better the Pacers are going to be with Rick Carlisle, but I do believe that they will provide some type of stability. I don't know about that, Dante. There's no data that suggests that Carlisle is better, but we can talk about that another day.
I don't think they respected that guy real. He didn't coach. I don't think he played in the NBA. I think he was like from the Euro League. So trying to come over there, and I mean, you come from Nate McMillan, who all the players respected. Then you bringing in a guy. So I think Rick Carlisle get way more out of that team than Nate Yorkin or whatever, however you pronounce his last name.
I don't remember any of the players having major issues with the guy. I mean,
they had issues.
Yeah,
with him.
they said they had issues
all season long.
Okay,
but again, he wasn't there but a year.
Okay,
it was just a language barrier. It could have just been a language barrier.
Okay, that could have been it. Okay, and excuse me, Armani, I forgot. Ty Lue got one under LeBron James, so my bad. Let me give Ty Lue his props. All right, here we go. Jason Kidd hired by the Mavs. He won a championship with the Mavs. Good move or bad move? Red, we'll start with you.
A good move as long as he keep his hands to himself, but it's definitely a good move. I can see why they bought him over there. Luka endorsed it. Yeah, even old ex-coach leaving, Rick Carlisle endorsed it. So, I mean, you got all the top folks in I'm sure Mark Cuban endorsed it as well because he had to make the hire. So, it was a good move. I mean, like I say, kind of gonna miss Kidd being on our bench because I thought he would take over for Frank Vogel once he got fired. But it's a good move for Dallas. I mean, Kidd is a former point guard, and Luka needs some stability over there. He can get him on the right track. If he can't get him on the right track, then Mark Cuban, you made a terrible mistake in drafting Luka.
I'm going to say it's a good move because Jason Kidd just spent 2 years seeing how to deal with one of the best talents in the NBA. He saw how Frank Vogel handled LeBron James. Jason Kidd did have a top-notch talent, but the Greek Freak was still ascending when he coached in Milwaukee. So seeing how Frank Vogel handled LeBron, I think will help him with his interaction with Luka. We know that Luka is probably more of a diva than LeBron is, and that is something that Jason Kidd will have to deal with. But having experience dealing with Giannis, a foreigner, as well as seeing what, how Frank Vogel dealt with LeBron, who is a superstar, I think that will help him in Dallas. And I think also having the support of Mark Cuban will go a long, long way, because we see how loyal Mark Cuban is to guys who helped him win a championship. Because Dirk could barely use a walker to get up and down the court, and he kept Dirk on the payroll, because Dirk, it was just hard watching Dirk get up the court, and he still was paying him $15-17 million. So we see how loyal he is. Red, you already had your take. We got to let Shelby and them get in just a second. But but we see how he shows loyalty, and I think that Mark Cuban is going to support Jason Kidd, which will help empower Jason Kidd to be a very good suggester as the coach of the team. All right. Shelby, good move or bad move?
Good move. Jason Kidd has been around the league forever. I mean, I remember watching him when I was a kid. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but I remember watching him. And the city likes him. He brought them a championship. The city will get on board. You have Mark Cuban, and you have arguably the most diva player in the league right now, Luka, saying yes. And once you get his buy-in, Luka is he's more of a diva than anybody I've ever seen. And if you can get his buy-in, then he will play for you. And I think it's a very good move. Good job, Jason Kidd.
All right. Everybody's on the good move train. Coach, are you joining us on this ride?
Half and half. I would say half. Good move because he gets to tutor Luka, who's a point guard with point guard. But on the other side, did Jason Kidd have a winning record as a coach?
Have a what?
Winning record.
I don't know. You tell us. Did you do the research?
I haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming that he doesn't have a winning record as a coach.
Why?
We'll fact check you, but you go ahead on where you're going.
And that's what his record, overall record, he doesn't have a winning record. And so I gotta see, he may be able to handle Luka. And everybody's saying that's gonna be good for him, but I gotta see some productivity.
Now he's 183 and 190.
Okay.
He did coach the Brooklyn Nets for 1 year. He was 44 and 38. He had one season where he was 41 and 41 with the Bucks. He had another season where he was under 500, 33 and 49. He had another season where he was with the Bucks 42-40. And then when he got fired by the Bucks midway, he was 23 and 22. So he had only one losing season as a head coach, but the losing season that he had, they were like 17 games under 500.
I revisit it after this year.
Okay. All right. Last one, and we're going to move on. This is a hypothetical. Coach loves hypotheticals, as we learned from our dope moment. Chauncey Billups possibly going to the Trailblazers. Good move or bad move? We've worked back around, so we'll start with the coach.
Good move. Excellent move. Damian Lillard endorsed him big time. So, hey, Billups gets his shot to show what he can do. And like I say, your best player wants him. So, right, hey, that's a good move for them, for him and them. Your head man like you coming on, so your head player. So hey, good move.
Shelby, good move, bad move.
It gives Chauncey Billups a chance. I mean, good grief. So we can hear him whine some more about being in the Hall of Fame. I'll say it's a good move. It's Portland. There's not a lot of expectation in Portland. I mean, it's Oregon. Everybody out there is about the University of Oregon anyway. So it's a good. Go ahead. It's a good move. And like you said, you have Damian Lillard you have his stamp of approval. If you get the main guy's stamp of approval, it's always a good move.
All right, Red, good move, bad move.
I'm more in between. It's kind of like we're gonna have to see type move. Excellent. I'm not gonna go to the excellent level that coach went to because we have yet to see. I mean, Bill spent one season on the Clippers bench. Don't really have that much coaching experience. I remember last season he was talking about being a GM. He didn't even have that much GM experience. So it's good that Damian Lillard endorsed him only because you're a champion, Billups. Like Shelby said, you spent past summer whining about your Hall of Fame credentials. We'll see. You got Lillard on the team, so we're gonna see. Y'all were talking about making some trades with CJ McCollum. So I'm kind of eager to see how the team is gonna look when it's bought back next season. But I mean, Billups can't do no worse than Terry Stotts. So I mean, I do trust him. He was a point guard in the NBA for a certain amount of years. So we all know Dame will listen to him. So interesting move. I say that very interesting. It could turn out to be good though.
I'm kind of in the zone where Red is, if anybody would ever thought that, because I can't determine how good the move will be until the roster is determined. I think at the end of the day, Terry Stotts did as well as he could with the roster. The roster is very flawed. You can't expect to win much with two small guards in your backcourt. I love CJ McCollum, great one-on-one ball player. Matter of fact, somebody even suggested CJ go to the Philadelphia 76ers. He can put the ball in the hole. That would definitely help out a team like the Sixers who can put the ball in the cup. But as long as they have that small point guard in Portland, I don't trust. And if Chauncey Billups is getting hired to coach that team that Terry Stotts just had, just expect another first or second round exit. Don't expect much. That team had. Huh?
You don't trust Lillard?
I don't trust the small backcourt. That's what I don't trust. Okay. I trust Lillard. I don't trust 6'2", 6'2", 6'3" guys trying to guard 6'6" and 6'7". That's what I don't trust. So somebody has to go, and it's not going to be Lillard. So until they decide what they're going to do with CJ McCollum, if you're bringing them off the bench, that's one thing. But you can't continue to keep trotting those guys out there because those are mismatches for them on defense. So unless they change the roster, I can't say how good a move it's going to be. But I think Chauncey will be great for Lillard, even though Lillard is already a good leader. Everybody loves him in Portland. So I don't know what more Chauncey would bring to the table. It's not like Lillard has a Chauncey-like game, but better, because he's better in crunch time. They play a similar game. Lillard just had way more range.
Yeah,
Chauncey dreamt of. So I don't know what more Chauncey could do with this roster. So the changes in roster will be critical to see if this move would be a good move. All right. Let's move on real quickly. We know that Team USA basketball was determined. For those who might not know what's going on, let me pull the roster up real quickly so that you all can see who is on Team USA. You got, let me take this banner down, Bam Adebayo, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, and Jason Tatum. I want y'all to look at that roster real good. You all tell me who doesn't belong. Who doesn't belong and why? That's the question that I want to throw out there. Who doesn't belong and why? Let me type that out while y'all looking at the roster. All right. That's the question. Look at it real quickly because I can't show the picture while our faces are up, unless y'all want to do this segment with the picture up and everybody just with you just talking in the background. Tell me what y'all want to do.
I've seen enough.
Yeah.
You've seen enough. You want the people to see you all and not the picture.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
can laugh.
All right, here it is.
Coach.
We'll take it down. All right, who doesn't belong and why? That's the question we're asking. Coach, you had the biggest chuckle out there, so you might as well go ahead on. Who doesn't belong on Team USA and why?
I have no problem saying the first name because I know everybody gonna say the same thing.
Is it the white guy? Is it the white guy?
It's two guys. One, why is 75-year-old Kevin Love on this?
That's the number one. That's the number one. I think I was the number one.
Did y'all have to just have a white boy? Just
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
would-
like you're like
there
really.
be a
Yeah.
little bit of diversity.
That's too easy. But there's another one that doesn't belong. Somebody please give me a hint. What has Jeremy Grant done to be on
You don't even spell Jeremy right.
hello? No, that's how he spells his name.
Well, it's wrong.
That's correct. What has he done?
That's right.
I mean, seriously, what has Jeremy Grant done? Come on, stop.
So Trae Young gets nothing.
Well, I think Trae Young just ascended too late. I think he has to wait for 2024. So Coach went with Jeremy Grant. He also went with Kevin Love. Anybody have any differences or additions? Red, you got one? Go with.
Lord.
Draymond, Mr. Triple Single, Draymond Green. I think we can replace you with somebody else. I definitely agree with Coach with Kevin Love. They picked the wrong Kevin. You need to be picking Kevin Warter in Atlanta or Kevin
If you had to
Huerter.
get a white boy, might as well pick
Yeah,
Kevin
exactly.
Love.
Why ain't you gonna get Kevin Huerter? Jeremy Grant. I guess they want somebody who they consider they need to talk.
They needed a token.
I guess they wanted somebody young and up and coming, but Spice the Peanut American. But man, Jeremy Grant, the best you can do. Bam is fine. Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, I definitely agree they should be part of the team. But where's Steph Curry? Where's Clay?
Steph Curry declined. They asked Steph
That's what I'm
Curry.
saying. I think like a lot of the players we want to see decline, Harden, Westbrook.
I think they represent the old regime. I think it's a new regime. All of those guys.
Yeah, but
with Coach K.
We have yet to, a lot of these players that represent the new regime, we have yet to fully endorse them yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Trae, he's supposed to represent the new regime, but even he still has some people questioning, like, it's not quite time for him yet. So I think it's, I mean, I agree with you saying what I'm saying, but more so, a lot of the players in the new regime just have not been fully endorsed by the public yet. That's why we're looking at them like, come on, these the best players you can offer?
I actually think this is following the mold that Colangelo, especially when Kobe was like the senior member when LeBron and those were coming up. I think that's where we are right now. Like Kevin Durant is serving as the Kobe-like figure on this team. And then you got up-and-coming talents like Jason Tatum, who is, ascending and so forth and so on. So I think that's where we are. And then also, I think, they have to be a bit more strategic because the rest of the world has caught up in some regards, and you got to have shooters. And I think that's why maybe Kevin Love may have made the team, because he can shoot the outside shot. He still didn't deserve it, but I think that's some of the things that take into equation, because when they first started forming the NBA players to make up the USA team, they went mainly on talent. Now they have to look at how they can play the international game, because the international game is a bit different than the NBA. And I think they wanted, a bunch of shooters on the team, because everybody but maybe Draymond Green can at least shoot the three.
Can somebody please send him to
You're a bad for the show, Victor.
His scalp is
You were
just
bad for the
bizarre.
show.
Oh man,
Rev,
Shelby, that junk look nasty.
Rev, look like they kind of going with your philosophy, Rev, with your team.
What's that?
Get a bunch of athletes.
Oh yeah, you got to get a bunch of athletes. That's how you win NBA 2K21. Get a whole
Not
bunch of
Kevin
athletes.
Love, but you know, Kevin Love is on there in case somebody get tired and they just
Yeah.
got to put him out there for about.
He'll play the garbage minutes.
Yeah,
against the
well,
team.
he definitely met the quota. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more topic, but I think let's just save it for next week.
What was the topic?
Trey and Luka. We'll save it for next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's save it for
We'll
next week.
save it for next week because we'll see where Trey winds up next week. Let us see where he winds up, and then we'll save it. So, with that being said, let's go ahead on and conclude the end of this show. You know how we do it. You have the right. So let's ask the question: who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? It's open season. Whoever wants at it first, jump at it.
Josh Smith, you
Oh,
have the right to shut your mouth. What have you done?
Ow.
What have you done? How dare you come for Doc Rivers? How dare you? All you did was steal money from the Hawks. That's all you did. You have the right to be quiet, and I don't ever need to hear your mouth again. Keep Doc Rivers' name out your mouth.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Shelby has spoken. Who has the right to do what, when, where, why? Red coach, you're on it.
I'll go ahead and finish what me and Shelby was starting to talk about. Kevin Durant, dude, you have a right to enlist in a hair replacement system, a hairbrush, something. Dude, we are tired of looking at the back of your head, looking like Shelby. Don't he remind you of that boy in elementary school that, you know, you'd be like, if you touch that guy, you got the David touch? Well, that's what happened. If you touch Kevin Durant, you got the Durant touch. Because, dude, that is some ugly crap on the back of your head. And honestly, if I was your teammate, I wouldn't even want to sit next to you, man, because I'd be afraid I'm going to be looking at that thing. You're going to catch me staring at the back of your head because that, dude, you make too much money to have that nasty looking thing on the back of your head and we got to stare at it every time you play. So Kevin Durant, I hope you listening. You have a right to invest in a hairbrush, a hair replacement system, or some type of grooming
He
feature.
needs some
for
pink
your-
moisturizer. Get some of that
something.
pink moisturizer.
Shelby, help him out. Ladies, help him out.
Right,
Somebody help this guy out,
That's
man.
what you need. You need some of that pink
God,
moisturizer.
don't he have a girlfriend or some type of lady in his life that can help
Obviously
him
not.
out?
His mama need to go from the front row to the hair club for men and help her baby out. Goodness
Somebody,
gracious.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, you're right. This dude ain't got no
Comment,
women in
Joe
his life.
Black.
Look like the Church of God Christ logo.
Really? Really? Durant, you have the right to spare us, dude. You gonna make us all sick, man. I'm for real. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to look at no Knicks games next year watching that stuff.
Wait, but y'all
I
do
agree
know
too.
that Nair takes your hair out. Nair is a hair removal.
Hey, he might need to go bald. He
Oh,
might need to go bald.
Yeah, that's
Turn
no
it on.
balls,
Get
dude.
some get a treat. Give me the hot oil treatment. That's
Oh,
hot oil.
that is nasty. Like you don't been bit by a bunch of spiders on his head or something.
Coach, jump in, man. It's gonna be hard to follow that one.
I know you all may remember, you might be dated. Y'all remember this show called The $6 Million Man?
I do.
Mike Soroka, you have the right to go consult him to find another leg because you torn your Achilles again and you are out. So you
Yeah.
call the $6 million.
Again?
Yeah, it was. I just got.
Okay.
I just got to
It's not
Notice on my
Sure,
phone.
again?
again.
yeah, again.
His head is like Ashby.
Oh my God, man. This dude is, yeah, he might be done. How you gonna have two Achilles tears?
So
You mean
Red,
Achilles?
like I said, man. Let's drop the Mike Soroka talk. It's
Let's
a
stop.
wrap.
Yeah. Real, you don't have to worry about me saying Soroka. No, I am not envisioning him as part of our future. No time soon. Dude, I'm tore his Achilles twice in a year time. Twice.
yeah.
It's terrible. Let me close out the show and let me talk to my boy Trey Young.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Trey, you have the right not to turn the ball over 8 times or even 4 times in a half, maybe 2 times, but you have the right to control the team, take good shots, and do what Nate McMillan has taught you to be in superstar talk all over the NBA. You have the right to lead the team to victory on tomorrow, like the Atlanta Hawks are capable of doing. That's all I got for you, Brother Trey. With that being said, this puts a bow on episode 195 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We want to thank Shelby for hanging out with the boys today. Everybody thought you went MIA, but I have forgotten.
Yeah.
Last week was your hair appointment day with your daughter. So that's where Shelby was.
That's where you were last week.
I have a standing appointment every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You had a standing appointment.
But they were looking out. Well, you the APB out for you last week.
And it was Father's Day, so I had stuff to do. Like,
We
I had to
got
go
you.
deal with that. So
Shelby, basically, Shelby, get Kevin Durant in there with you.
my stylist is expensive. My stylist is expensive.
That's illegal.
She
Durant
can't
can
do that.
afford it.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna try to
I don't
find
know,
that.
that take a miracle.
I'm gonna try to find that oil, but I may not get to him by game 3. But if he plays like that again, I'll get to him at game 4.
He need that Malcolm X oil. He need that stuff that's gonna burn his hair. Ah! Woo! It's too hot.
That's why I say you need some of that pink moisturizer that we used to use. Kelly, you know we used to use.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. They come in that little pink bottle. Oh my God, yeah. Durant.
All he need is that Royal Crown and that red bottle and that hot cone. That's all he need. Burn that thing.
I did not know this was turning into a hair show. So let's stop before we...
This the B&B hair advice.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all for watching episode 195 of Red and Rev
2
Sports
words,
Show.
Kevin Durant.
We'll be back next week, minus Shelby, since she'll be at the hair salon for episode 196, and we'll see you at 197. Peace and love, everybody. KD needs Nair. Make all them buck shots go away. Yes, pink oil moisturizer. All right.
Thank you, Kelly.
Everybody be blessed. See y'all next week.
Be blessed. Give Durant some hair. Pray.